This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. An altercation at a Winnipeg Dollarama has people questioning about the use of force used by a security guard. Video shows the guard punching, kicking, and threatening to kill a man who was later charged with robbery. And while the man has been taken off active duty, as CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports, leaders say it's not enough. And a warning to our viewers, some of the video includes profanity and violence.
Threatening me. Who the fuck do you think you are? Who?
Video circulating on social media shows a security guard hitting and kicking a man inside a store.
I risk my life every day.
It happened at this downtown Dollarama store on Portage Avenue Saturday afternoon.
Stay down! I'll fucking kill you. Try me.
Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief Cara Wilson says she is appalled by the video, which lasts just over a minute. She says the man on the ground appears to be Indigenous.
This is a reality for First Nations people, for Indigenous people. Whenever we go into any establishment, we are continually targeted, monitored. This is not an isolated incident or issue.
Winnipeg police say a man was trying to leave the store without paying. A security guard tried to stop him, which broke into an altercation. Police have charged the man with robbery and uttering threats. The Major Crimes Unit has also opened an investigation into what was shown in the video. In a statement, Dollarama told CBC News in part that protocol was not followed in this case, and they have put the security firm on notice while they investigate. The Dollarama was closed on Monday afternoon, but that didn't stop protesters from gathering outside.
It was violent. It was illegal. And it was completely unacceptable.
Every day, every week, Indigenous women, men are getting searched, beaten, and that. Just imagine, we caught one on here on video. Just how many others are out there.
We spoke earlier today with Sheila North, the Indigenous advisor to Winnipeg Police. She says moments like this should be an opportunity for training security guards.
If there are people like that doing these kind of jobs, they need to have a level of understanding of what they're dealing with when they're working in the streets and not meet violence with violence.
Impact Security, the firm employing the guard, says he has been removed from active duty. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Dozens of members of Winnipeg's Iranian diaspora celebrated in support of U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran and the death of the country's supreme leader. Many say they hope now can finally be the time the people of Iran overthrow its current regime for good. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Iranians came together in celebration on Sunday, following U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran and the death of its supreme leader. Shala Shojai says she never thought she'd see the day.
Iranian congratulations to each other for the death of Khamenei, the dictator.
Dozens of people at two different rallies over the weekend made their support clear.
Trump! Thank you! Trump! Thank you!
They also chanted for Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah. Shervin Shahidian helps organize rallies for Iran every weekend.
It's pretty obvious at this time that who is going to be the next leader of Iran. But again, as Reza Pahlavi said, the will of the people in Iran will show at the ballot point.
U.S. President Donald Trump has called for Iran to overthrow its government. On Sunday, the Pentagon also said the Revolutionary Guard Corps' headquarters were destroyed in an airstrike. Saeed Avami is with the Iranian monarchists of Manitoba.
People of Iran are ready to sacrifice themselves for their country, for their future.
The U.S. was locked and loaded and ready to go.
Ali Reza Niazi is thinking of thousands who were killed in government crackdowns during protests in Iran in the last few months.
I'm sad because of the many people that are not in front of us to see this.
Shala Shojai is also thinking of all the lives lost and is proud to be celebrating in Winnipeg as people also dance and cheer in the streets of Iran.
We love you so much. All of you are my family. I'm happy that soon you will enjoy freedom and prosperity in Iran again.
And holding on to the hope of brighter days ahead. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meantime, a different group rallied, concerned the recent strikes in Iran are setting a dangerous precedent. Around 40 protesters gathered outside the U.S. consulate, arguing the intervention breaches international law. Under the United Nations, the use of force against a country is only allowed in self-defense or if authorized by the Security Council.
We can't have the Americans and the Israelis going around as the world police, assassinating leaders and putting in their own puppet governments. I mean, that can never be right. You know, we're seeing chaos. We're seeing a complete world order falling apart if we allow that.
On Saturday, Prime Minister Mark Carney said he supported U.S. action to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. A 12-year-old boy is dead after a house fire in Portage la Prairie early Sunday. RCMP were called around 4:40 a.m. about a fire at a home with multiple people inside. The house was engulfed in flames. 2 adults and 5 children escaped with minor injuries, but police were told a young boy was still inside. His body was later found. The cause is still under investigation. He was high on drugs, but consciously aware of what he was doing. That's the claim being made by Crown attorneys in a Winnipeg murder trial. They say Jamie Felix, the man accused in the mass shooting spree of 5 people, knew his actions resulted in their deaths. But his lawyer says he's being set up and is pushing for his client to be acquitted. CBC's Ian Fraze has the latest from court.
The Crown says Jamie Felix, a man accused of killing 5 people in a West Broadway drug house in Winnipeg, knew what he was doing, and his actions prove it. Closing arguments were heard Monday in a jury trial stemming from a fatal shooting on Langside Street in November 2023. The Crown alleged while Felix was high on drugs, he consciously chose to carry the gun, open fire, and then flee. He later confessed to his ex-girlfriend that while he felt used by his late father and brother because of his military background, it was him who pulled the trigger. Crown attorney Chantal Boutin said he was crying and shaking when he told his ex-girlfriend because those memories cost him something to say out loud. He was wrestling with the weight of what he did. The Crown also alleged Felix was fully aware of his actions because after the shootings, he told his mom on Facebook he wouldn't be around for much longer, so he'll have fun until they come for him. However, it's not clear who he's referring to. Meanwhile, Felix has pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of second-degree murder. His defense lawyer says Felix was set up. The defense argued his late father used Mr. Felix not as the fortuitous gunman who just happened to snap and murder everyone, but as his malleable and vulnerable patsy. They alleged the father gave Felix the gun and a bulletproof vest and planned the killings. The defense also argued the Crown presented no motive and that, based on the trajectory of the bullets, there were 2 killers, not 1. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Police have charged 2 women after a 2-year-old boy was abducted Friday. Police say the child was taken Friday morning from a home on Chesterfield Avenue. They say there was a fight between the child's biological mother and 2 suspects when the mom was assaulted. Officers say the women took off in a taxi with the boy to Logan and McPhillips. An Amber Alert was issued. Police say someone recognized the 2 suspects and took the child away from them while police were called. A 30-year-old and 25-year-old have been arrested and face several charges. All right, time now for a check on our forecast with meteorologist Colette Kennedy.
Well, good evening, Brittany. Hey, not a bad day, right, in Winnipeg. You know, some sunshine in there for sure. A little breezier, kind of bookending the day this morning and again into the afternoon and early evening hours. Starting off with -11, those winds then actually made it feel like we were closer to -20, and we'll be somewhere near that tomorrow. But at least into the afternoon, our daytime highs were climbing, in many cases, not just to seasonal, but a little bit above, at least for the southern tier of the province. In between that colder air to to the north and that milder air to the south, though. You can see a little bit of that light snow that's pushing in, and we'll get into more detail on that coming up. But for now, I just want to give you your forecast in the short term here and what we can expect overnight. We do have the blood moon, the lunar eclipse, although that's kind of towards about 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the mid-overnight hours, -9. I think we are going to have some cloud interference in here, sorry to say, at least partially. -11 tomorrow morning, so if you're going to be out there trying to look towards the western skies, just be bundled up for that. And then into the afternoon, a seasonal high of -5. Maybe some sunshine in the mid part of the day. More details to come.
All right, thanks, Colette. Why one Winnipegger is ditching his straw and finally able to enjoy his favorite meals once again. We'll have his story next. A Winnipeg man has been charged after online threats were posted against Prime Minister Mark Carney. The RCMP says it launched an investigation in mid-January after threats were posted against Carney on social media platform X. They say threats were also made towards Jews and Muslims. 55-year-old Jason Paul Rindle has been charged with 3 counts of uttering a threat to cause death. Flooding at the Winnipeg Police Headquarters building is estimated to have caused more than $1 million in damages. Police say 2 people opened several emergency water supply valves in the upper stairwells of the tower building. The water caused damage from the 4th floor all the way down to the main floor of the headquarters. The city is still working with its insurance provider to get the total cost of damages, but it's expected to be more than $1 million. A Winnipegger who spent years on a surgical waitlist is finally able to enjoy solid foods once again. He was told he needed a rare operation to replace a jaw joint in 2021, but with a lack of specialists here, he needed to go out of province. The CBC's Arturo Chang reports.
After years of protein shakes and mashed potatoes, Daniel McClellan has finally started to eat solid foods again. Today, he's fixing himself a peanut butter sandwich.
Only really the one time I was like, oh man, that pizza was a little hard, but and it's really like almost like week to week, like it's getting better and better and better. This is a 3D print of my jaw.
For years, the Winnipegger suffered from a condition that fused his lower jaw to his skull. Doctors replaced one of his jaw joints with part of his rib, but that also fused, creating 2 solid anchor points that didn't let him fully open his mouth.
Like there was pain, also the inability to eat. I was drinking most of my meals through a straw, and I just stayed home and just, well, I can't do much.
McClellan needed highly specialized surgery. It was not performed in Manitoba at the time, and only a handful of doctors in Canada could do it. He spent years on a wait list until CBC News did this story on him in 2024. That's when a surgeon in Regina stepped in to help.
I've been able to see some fairly significant complex cases in my training at Toronto and in Michigan. And his was definitely probably one of the hardest ones I've come across.
Dr. Christopher Ward is originally from Manitoba. About 20% of the patients he sees in Regina come from his birth province. Ward says Canada's healthcare system is in dire need of resources, making opportunities to train for specialties like his extremely limited.
That there's a deficiency in people who have this skill set. And my ultimate goal is to help train people, just as I was trained, as the next generation to provide this skill set, given that the current era of surgeons doing this are starting to get close to retirement.
Last time I checked, I was at about 26 millimeters.
McClellan still needs to do jaw exercises every day, but says he only needs a couple more weeks to fully recover. Arturo Chang, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, Colette Kennedy is back in now for a look at our forecast. Colette.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. I know we're not quite to spring, but, for the 1st of March, that's the beginning of meteorological spring. So we're getting there, and I thought we'd have a little look then at what we are really enjoying or experiencing in terms of our sunrise and sunset, especially because watch out for that sunrise tomorrow, 7:07. So again, if you're trying to see the lunar eclipse and the blood moon, it's kind of just the hour to 2 hours right before that. Our hours of daylight, how about 11? And keep in mind with that sunset this coming weekend, we're going to move those clocks, and so that's going to be later into the evening hours as well. Into the afternoon, I was mentioning a little earlier in the show how the temperatures warmed up to seasonal or even a little bit above. I mean, at one point, Winkler, right around kind of the lunch hour, you were actually up to freezing, up to 0 marker there. So not a bad day for the southern tier. It's a whole different story further north where we do have that very cold Arctic air, dangerously cold conditions that are in place there. And then in between, where you get that struggle between the 2 air masses, we have the cloud deck, but not only that, some of that light snow. And kind of moving forward between tonight into tomorrow and into Wednesday, we will have some snow developing through, mostly they're kind of concentrated in the Inner Lakes region, and some of those snowfall totals may be up there around 5-10 centimeters plus as you put it together over those multiple days. I'll have more detail on that coming up a little bit later in the show, but I'm sure you can't help but see all the cloud cover that's going to be coming in as well. I do think into the Red River Valley, we may get some sunny breaks right around kind of the lunch hour. At least that's the best chance for tomorrow. Likely to be some cloud interference overnight tonight with any sky gazing, blood moon gazing you're trying to do, this is when I'd say we'd have the best chance. It'll be around -7 at that time in the day. And then our daytime high, seasonal, up to -5, but mostly cloudy conditions we'll be experiencing then. Now, taking you through the next few days here, yeah, we have a chilly night tonight. We have a seasonal, daytime high tomorrow. Kind of similar Wednesday and Thursday. But you saw, I was showing you on those models there, the cloud development and how they'll be somewhat thick. So we have that through the mid part of the day, but I hope you are encouraged by looking towards the end of the week and how about into the weekend. So we get a little bit of a flip-flop. We're going to front end this week with some of the coldest air. And as we're heading into the weekend, things warming up, some sunshine in there. Will it last all weekend? You'll have to stick around for those details.
All right, thanks, Colette. Manitoba's largest winter multi-sport competition is underway in Thompson. Hundreds of youth athletes from across the province are competing for regional glory at the Manitoba Winter Games. CBC's Eric Westhaver reports from Thompson.
It's practice time in Thompson. The Manitoba Winter Games began here March 1st. One of the sports this year is futsal, fast-paced indoor soccer, making its games debut. Team North is from Thompson and happy to host Manitoba's best.
Exciting. I feel like I'm going to meet some new people that I'm going to like. It's going to be pretty fun. I'm probably the most packed I've ever seen Thompson.
In my high school soccer team, we played players from a different city, far away, and it was a pretty fun experience.
The Games are the province's biggest multi-sport winter event, taking place every 4 years. Over 1,000 people will take part. Athletes are split into 6 teams based on region, 1 team each for the North, East, West, and South, and 2 for Winnipeg. Organizer Todd Harwood played in the Games as a kid. He helped plan the Thompson Games in 2018, and now he's back.
There's an energy of being part of the Games, not just the kids. I think that obviously the kids drive the energy. It's hard to explain. I think you have to come and experience it.
The Thompson Regional Community Center will host most of the action. Classrooms at nearby schools are now athlete dorms. Event director Harold Smith said the community has stepped up to help.
How we pull it off, a lot of planning, a lot of support from the community. We've got a tremendous number of volunteers who have stepped up and are going to be here to help us convert those schools into dorms for the athletes and the coaches.
For Harwood, the fun isn't just in the competition. It's showing people what Northern Manitoba has to offer.
From my experience in 2018, we had so many people come here and we were able to change hearts and minds about Thompson. And so people come to see our facilities, they're top notch, and you're treated like gold when you're here.
The Games run until March 7th. Results are shared on the Games official website. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Thompson.
Well, good luck to all of those athletes. We have much more to come on this after the break. Stay with us. 2 days after the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran, the conflict has spread beyond the country's borders. State and non-state actors have been drawn into the conflict. Anna Cunningham explains.
Monday has seen hostilities spread across the Middle East and beyond. In Lebanon, the militant group Hezbollah has joined the conflict, a key ally of Iran, heavily funded by Tehran. Hezbollah launched missiles and drones at Israel. Israel has responded with airstrikes. These, it says, were focused on the southern suburbs of Beirut. Heavy smoke was visible, seen rising from areas known to be under the control of Hezbollah. Israel also launched fresh strikes on Iran, describing them as a broad wave of attacks on the heart of Tehran, where smoke was seen rising. Iran has continued its missile and drone strikes. Saudi Arabia and Qatar have both reported hits on oil and gas facilities. In Kuwait, black smoke was seen rising above the area around the U.S. embassy. Earlier in the day, 3 U.S. fighter jets were mistakenly shot down over Kuwait. That's been described as a friendly fire incident by military officials. All 6 crew members ejected safely. Elsewhere, loud explosions were heard in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai, and in Qatar, officials said 2 Iranian fighter jets were shot down. For a second time in 12 hours, fighter jets were scrambled in Cyprus at RAF Akrotiri, a British overseas territory on the Mediterranean island. 1 Iranian-made drone hit the base with limited damage and no casualties. The others were reportedly intercepted. Greece has now confirmed it is sending 2 warships and 2 F-16 fighter jets to support security on the island. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
The federal government expressed support for the U.S. strikes on Iran, but said it preferred a diplomatic solution. As Olivia Stefanovich reports, the position is drawing a mix of support and condemnation.
For these Iranian Canadians, the U.S.-Israeli attacks mark a major turning point.
The Iranian people have been wanting this from not yesterday, not today's attack, from 40-some years ago.
At all times, Canada has stood by the Iranian people.
The Foreign Affairs Minister says the federal government is taking a nuanced position.
We share the concern of the United States and many other countries relating to Iranian nuclear proliferation. At the same time, we prefer a diplomatic solution.
We don't think Canada should be endorsing illegal wars of aggression by the Trump administration, which has repeatedly, by the way, threatened our own sovereignty.
The NDP is accusing the Prime Minister of contradicting his Davos speech.
Prime Minister Carney very clearly sent a message to the world that middle powers need to join together to oppose superpower aggression wherever it occurs.
When Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu break international law, break the international rules-based order, and Mark Carney cheers them on the sides, I don't think that's the correct response.
Criticism is also coming from within the government.
But Canada cannot endorse the unilateral and illegal use of military force, the killing of civilians, or the kidnap and assassination of foreign heads of government, while also insisting that our sovereignty, our rights, and our independence must be respected.
But others are calling for Ottawa to get even more involved.
Canadian government can join U.S. forces to help Iranians to overthrow the regime and bring back prosperity, freedom, and democracy to the country.
The Foreign Affairs Minister says Canada wasn't involved in the U.S. attacks and has no plans to join military strikes or operations in Iran. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has signed multiple deals with India worth billions of dollars, a move that aims to turn the page on years of frosty relations. The CBC's Katherine Cullen has more.
A display of friendship between leaders after years of tension and accusations between the two countries.
There has been more engagement between the Canadian and Indian governments in the last year than there has been in more than 2 decades combined.
From our very first meeting itself, there has been a new energy, mutual trust, and a positivity in our relations, said the Indian Prime Minister. Mark Carney and Narendra Modi announced a host of agreements for more cooperation on university research, AI, space, a partnership on energy, including gas and renewables.
Tremendous momentum. The tone gets set at the top. There's a lot of energy in the room, but the thing that India most needs is energy.
And part of this trip is the announcement Saskatchewan's Cameco will provide $2.6 billion of uranium to help India grow its nuclear power.
Good steps taken today, material steps taken today that benefit both countries.
Formal trade negotiations will also get underway with hopes of a deal this year. And the two countries agreed to further work together on defense, security, and law and order. Modi also accepted an invitation to visit Canada. It comes less than 3 years after Canada accused India's government of being involved in the assassination of a Sikh activist in BC, as well as a wave of extortion and violence the next year. Last week, a senior Canadian official told reporters the violence fueled by the Indian state had stopped. It prompted backlash from some in the Sikh community. Today, the Foreign Affairs Minister seemed to say the official got it wrong.
The words of the senior official are not words that I personally would use.
Carney's meetings with Modi went on for more than 2 hours. The Prime Minister's office says that was longer than planned, and Carney ran out of time to take questions from journalists. It means the Prime Minister left India, heading on to Australia, without ever weighing in himself on whether the Indian government is still targeting some Canadians. Katherine Cullen, CBC News, New Delhi.
An Ontario man trusted ticket reseller StubHub to list thousands of dollars in tickets, but ended up empty-handed. Instead of getting paid, the tickets and his money disappeared. He took his story to Rosa Marcatelli and Go Public, who uncovered troubling questions about ticket transfer rules and consumer protection.
Here come the lights.
Longtime Formula One fan Paul Mann bought 9 three-day passes to last year's Grand Prix in Montreal. But when his wife broke her leg skiing and his group trip fell apart, he listed 7 of them on StubHub, expecting a smooth sail.
It seemed like the best choice and honestly the safest choice.
He followed StubHub's instructions and uploaded the digital tickets. They sold, then just disappeared off the site. The company called it a glitch and promised a fix. It never came. Instead, Mann was out more than $6,000 in lost sales. And making matters worse, StubHub piled on another $3,200 in penalties. StubHub later blamed Grand Prix race organizers, saying their tickets are not transferable, and that's what caused Mann's problems.
It's really surprising to me that something that should be simple and that StubHub claims is a very simple and safe process has turned out to be unreliable.
Go Public asked an expert on digital platforms to review StubHub's user agreement.
Basically, they absolve themselves of any responsibility for anything. The text is quite amazing.
Despite all of this, StubHub continues to sell non-transferable tickets, saying the restrictions are unfair to consumers. Grand Prix de Canada organizers disagree, though. They say the reseller isn't authorized to do that and warn some tickets might be canceled. Bottom line here, buyer and sellers, beware. After Go Public contacted StubHub, it gave Paul Mann his money. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
You might expect artificial intelligence to take away jobs, but there's something else that AI is gobbling up and making it harder for you to get or afford your next tech device. Jenna Benchetrit has more on that.
Making AI helpful for everyone.
The artificial intelligence boom is devouring the world's supply of memory chips. A shortage that could soon drive up prices and delay shipments of laptops, smartphones, and other electronics.
We've seen this huge growth in investments in AI data centers, and that is kind of sucking all the oxygen out of the room.
There are just 3 major manufacturers of random access memory chips, or RAM, which is one of the main hardware that powers most devices. All have shifted their focus to the AI industry, which needs more powerful chips for their servers.
They've reallocated a lot of their capacity to the new newer and more profitable high bandwidth memory segment.
Faced with that higher demand, those manufacturers are now charging higher prices. One RAM kit sold in Canada cost below $150 last September. By February, the same kit was priced at nearly $500. Even Apple CEO Tim Cook recently warned that memory prices will go up significantly, and that the tech giant is considering a range of options to deal with it. The gaming industry could be hard hit too. Investors worry that could lead to delays and price hikes on new consoles from Nintendo and Sony.
As we approach that, they're certainly formulating multiple strategies right now, and a lot of those strategies will involve price increases.
But one U.S. company that builds modular computers says to avoid increasing its customer prices, it's selling memory from its current stockpile at cost.
Even for us as a manufacturer, being able to source memory from suppliers has obviously become both much more challenging and much more expensive.
For now, many electronics companies say they're managing their stockpile of memory chips, but that will likely hold them over just until the end of the year. Jenna Benchitrid, CBC News, Toronto.
Up next, why doctors are now urging parents to get children screened for high cholesterol. We'll have more on that after the break. Stay with us. If you want to follow along with what local politicians are deciding and what's happening in your city, navigating City Hall just got a little easier. The city has launched a new system to track decisions at City Hall. The enhanced search feature allows users to find what they're looking for faster and more reliably, and claims to be more user-friendly. If you're wondering where things are at with possible bike lanes or the lowering of speed limits, now you can set reminders and track the proposals and the progress. The city says the previous system was nearly 25 years old. Well, we don't think of high cholesterol as a problem in children, but the Canadian Pediatric Society is now recommending all kids be tested for it. As Lauren Pelly reports, experts believe it could help prevent serious health issues later in life.
Good thing. Healthy eating is important to this Edmonton family. Mike Heathcote has a genetic condition that causes bad cholesterol to build up inside his arteries, and it passed on to his 2 kids.
They had a healthy, active lifestyle, just normal kids. If you didn't do the test, you never would have known.
That test was simple blood work to screen for high cholesterol. It gave Heathcote a chance to get his children on statin medication early to protect them from heart disease later in life.
Hopefully when I'm 40, 50, I won't be at the same stage as someone who might have not caught it.
The Canadian Pediatric Society is now calling for all Canadian children to be screened for high cholesterol between the ages of 2 and 10 years old. Researchers say 1 in 300 Canadians has familial hypercholesterolemia, or FH, a genetic condition that causes lifelong elevations in blood cholesterol, starting in childhood. For 9 in 10 people with FH, the condition is undiagnosed.
If we don't treat it, the risk for early heart attacks and strokes is dramatically increased in these individuals.
Treatment ranges from diet and lifestyle changes to lifelong medication.
It is easy to diagnose and easy to treat, and we just simply are missing it.
Sometimes, if we're very successful, we can actually reverse diseases before they become actual problems that we have to medicate people for.
Some countries already have widespread screening programs, but doctors here warn it could be challenging to try and get more children to have their blood drawn.
That's going to be very hard to do. They're not readily available in clinics out in the community. Children don't like getting their blood taken.
Still, this family says it's worth it.
There's literally no reason not to take the test.
And one good reason to have it done, staying healthy for years to come. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, time now to check in with meteorologist Colette Kennedy on what we can expect over the next few days. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. You know, talking about the province as a whole, we have very different conditions. I know you might expect that, but I mean, we're talking about this extreme cold air we have to the north, temperatures seasonal or even on the mild side in that southern tier, closer to the international border there. And then it's in between where we tend to get the active weather through the Inner Lakes region and with some of the snowfall. But when we bring these wind chills in here, so this is dangerous cold that we're talking about. Again, not just tonight, probably tomorrow night, a few nights of this, minus 45 to minus 50, some of the wind chills. So there is this yellow level extreme cold warning, and I do want you all to be aware of that because that is dangerously cold conditions. Those are dangerously cold conditions. There it is, a little bit of that light snow that's trying to pass through. Flurries in some cases is all it is. Most of it stays to the north of Winnipeg, north of the Red River Valley, and as we have that ridge of high pressure passing through, we lose the best chances of some sunshine. I pause it here because tomorrow in the mid part of the day, I think we could carve out some nice conditions, and then those clouds will be thickening back up on us again. And then we have, I've defined it as a trough. You could look at it as almost a somewhat stationary front here with that pushback of the warm and cold air, but potentially getting the development of snow for the next couple of days, kind of off and on, but where we may see through that Inner Lakes region 5 to 10 plus centimeters of snow snowfall moving on through. And then further north, it's a couple of centimeters or less, and maybe even negligible to nothing further south, or a few flurries from time to time. So you're hour by hour, some of what those temperatures look like, but of course having to factor in those wind chills, a chilly, although close to seasonal start tomorrow into the afternoon, hoping for this sunshine to pull in there for us, and then into the afternoon. This model's got us a little cooler. I think we will make it to that -5. Oh, favorite time of the evening, the dog walking forecast. This is Tucker, golden retriever, just an absolute sweetheart here from Jane and Murray, and just in, I believe, December, celebrating second birthday, so just transitioning out of being a puppy, probably still acts like a puppy. And just a look at what you can expect for your forecast. I know it's a little chillier in the morning, but I am giving it green paws all the way. At least we don't have any extreme or active weather, Brittany.
All right, thanks, Colette. Katherine O'Hara won Best Female Actor in a Comedy Series at the Actor Awards in Los Angeles just a month after her death. The legendary Canadian comedic actress died on January 30th at the age of 71 due to a blood clot in her lung. O'Hara was also living with rectal cancer, a diagnosis she hadn't made public. Sunday night, she posthumously took home the trophy for her role in the Apple TV comedy series, The Studio. The audience gave a standing ovation as she was recognized. Co-star Seth Rogen accepted the honor on her behalf. Anxiety can be crippling for many people. It can be intense and make what is a simple task for one person overwhelming for someone who battles with it. For one student at Sisler High, riding the bus is difficult. In this piece by the students from Sisler's Create program, she shows how she uses art therapy to not just express her fears, but confront them.
There's this huge fleshy lump stuck to you, like kind of on your shoulders, both weighing you down and guiding you, kind of like attached to you in your muscles and your tendons and your bones. When I was younger, I didn't really get out of the house much. Most of the stuff I did was at home. Even just going to the store. I kind of had to prepare myself quite a bit. That's how I dealt with it. It was mostly the unknown that freaked me out about it. So that was the best I could do, was prepare for things. One of my biggest fears for a long time was taking the bus. It was such an everyday thing, so I felt like super guilty about it. But it's just something about it was terrifying.
Anxiety is a very normal response. Everyone has anxiety. Anxiety can become a problem when the anxiety system in our body starts to respond when there's no danger there.
I knew I had to take the bus eventually. I couldn't go through life stuck at home just because of my fears. I started from the ground up, going to like friends' houses. Then I started taking a cab alone, and then there came the day that I actually had to take the bus because I had to pick up my grad robes and there was nobody to take me. The more you waited, the more stuck you felt. And the more stuck you felt, the harder it is to kind of pull your feet off the ground. And you know it's going to hurt. Even though it didn't feel like the world was lifted off my shoulders, it felt like this should be my normal. This is getting too normal.
The fear ladder technique is one of the cognitive behavior therapy sections of exposure therapy. So if somebody is afraid of being on a bus, what we do is we try to understand again why they're afraid. Then we create what's a fear ladder, is to say, well, if riding in downtown in the middle of traffic is 10 out of 10 on a scale of 0 to 10 for anxiety, what's 5 out of 10? Basically, if you want to think about it as a training program, that before you get to 5 out of 10, you want to conquer 3 out of 10. What we really try to do is encourage people to incorporate mindfulness activities, yoga, meditation, art therapy, even music, to be in the moment.
Creating art feels like when I get stuck in maybe a state of panic, I know that when I'm making art, I can have a flow. It kind of unsticks me. It's kind of like screaming, but visually. You know, when you really need to get a good scream, but you don't want to worry your neighbors, you do that on like a canvas or on paper. I live very scared, but I know that I can do things that maybe I felt like I wasn't ever going to be able to do. But it's way better than being stuck in that hole. It's living, finally.
Still ahead, a celebration of the most talented four-legged actors is next, and Colette is back with a last check on our forecast. Stay with us. This is Manitoba, and this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Get local headlines, weather, and community notices, plus newscasts and live programming on your favorite connected device, all for free. It's called the CBC News Manitoba streaming channel. See your community on your connected TV and mobile devices. CBC News Manitoba, your local news streaming channel, now available.
This place, every community has a tale to tell.
And CBC is here to share them.
Watching, listening, reading, streaming. CBC, telling Manitoba's story wherever you are.
Okay, I was teasing a little bit earlier in the show how we have a nice start to the weekend and was it going to last through the weekend. I don't think I'd be so positive about it if it weren't the case that it is going to. But let's just start off with some of the cooler or more seasonal air we have for the beginning of the week. We get into quite a bit of cloud cover as we move through the mid portion of the week, and then it is towards the end. How about Friday? I think it's going to be quite a nice day, even if the high's around -3. That's not too bad, right? Mix of sun and cloud, but there it is Saturday. Above seasonal for the daytime high, up to 3 degrees, still mild into Sunday and Saturday night into Sunday, even keeping some of the milder conditions. And all right, we always seem to have to pay for it at some point, but you know, Monday at this point still several days away there, but looking like more like a lighter snow or flurries coming our way.
All right, thanks, Colette. Well, for 20 years now, one particular award ceremony has been steadily going to the dogs. A celebration of canine excellence and their unforgettable performances on the big screen is today's Daily Lift.
Thank you.
This is the Fido Awards, where the top dogs of the silver screen are honored. The event recognizes and celebrates the best movie performances across a range of categories. Those attending included Toad, the Jack Russell featured in Hamnet, and Rosie the Rottweiler. And Best in World went to an American Bulldog named Dixie for her performance in Dragonfly. All right, that's an award show I can get behind. Anyone that goes to the dogs is good by me. I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.